Star, Coach Betty Rocker here. Welcome to my home gym. So today's workout might be a little bit different than what you're used to seeing from me. However, I want to give you options in case you do want to go train in the gym, or you have a home gym setup, or you're looking to progress up to more heavy weighted equipment, and that sounds fun for you. Now, if you've done my Lioness strength training program, you've seen all of those types of options already. If you're in Rock Your Life and you've done the Rockstar Weight Training Challenge series, those classes are going to be a lot like what we're going to be doing today. And of course, I'll be showing you options for the things that you may not have all the equipment for yet, or want to just have a variation for. So we're gonna get started with a mobility and warm-up drill, which is very important, especially when we're getting ready to lift heavier. And I'll also be ending this class today with a stretch, a cool down stretch, which I really encourage you not to skip, because it's essential to really take care of your muscles while you're doing these types of workouts. So step to the back side of your mat, sweep your arms up high, come on up on your toes, press your palms up to the ceiling. Feel free to look up. Give yourself a nice full body stretch, and then sweep your arms down to the side as you fold forward and walk your hands out, coming into a downward dog. Feel free to pedal the feet out, adjust the foot or hand position, and just enjoy this position. And then send your hips up high, sink both heels down towards the mat. Lift your left leg up and then walk it out to the outside of your left hand. Drop your right knee down. Enjoy this momentary breather, and then we're going to reach our left hand up, so it's the hand that's on the inside of your foot that's down in front, and you're just going to reach up, and then you're going to come back down, reach up, really feeling your chest and back activate and open as you do this lovely flow. Great job. Up and open, down and up. Now plant your left hand down by that left foot. Reach your right arm up and just make a couple of circles with your right arm. You've got all of your weight sort of on your left hand and arm, and we're just circling with that opposite arm. Let's go the other direction. Some nice big arm circles, and in the meantime, you're getting a nice stretch for those legs. And plant both hands down together, curl your back right toe under, and send your hips back up into that down dog, pedaling the feet out once more. We are going to be doing some calf raises today, so I want to get those calves nice and active. Go ahead and lift your right leg up this time, sweeping it to the outside of your right hand, dropping that left knee down. And we're going to go ahead and reach up and open with our right arm, coming into that nice full twist for the torso. Enjoying that sensation of openness in the chest, in the shoulder. Great job. Let's do two more like this. And last one, plant your right hand down on the inside of your right foot and begin doing arm circles with the left arm. Just sweep them up and around. Nice job. Last one, this way. Let's go the other direction. Back and around, back and around. Plant your left hand down beside your right and send your hips back up, down dog, and step or jump your feet in. Do you happen to have a broom handle or a stick in your house? I want you to go get it. We're gonna do a little hip hinge exercise. Now, of course, I have a lightsaber, so I'm gonna use my lightsaber. I know, just can't help myself. What I want you to do when you find that broom or whatever you've got for a stick is I want you to position it at the back of your head, okay? Just like this. And I want you to bring your head and neck upright, and it's fine if you want to use a mirror in your house for this. And we're going to make sure that that stick is touching the back of our head, the top of our back, and our sacrum, which is the rounded bone at the base of our tailbone. And I'm glad that this is red because hopefully you guys can all see this along my back. Now go ahead and press it into the base of your tailbone, hold it at the top of your head, and from here I want you to hinge your hips back. And when you do this, you must maintain all of these points of contact. So as you send your hips back, all of the points of contact should remain touching. Nice flat back, right? Now you're welcome to bend the knees as you do this to test it out. And in fact, I'd like you to try a couple of positions. Come down into your normal squat form and hold the stick along your back, head, and neck. Now what happens when we lose our form is if I let my head come too far forward, the stick is no longer touching my head, right? This is what happens when we look down. If I'm coming into a hip hinge and I round my back, see how the stick jumps off of my sacrum? If I look down while I'm coming into my hip hinge, once again, the stick jumps off of my back. So this is just a really cool activation exercise for you to do. And we're going to be doing this more around our deadlifts, but we do have some hip hinges built into today's workout. So I just want you to feel what it's like to do this hip hinge when all of your back is straight and your spine is aligned. And just notice how that feels. Notice if you have any challenges with that. Do a couple more squats, down and up. And don't feel like you have to go super deep. If you start to lose the stick activation, that's when you know that's how far forward you should go. Got it? I feel like I need to make the Star Wars noises. They're happening in my head. Thank you for doing that with me. We're gonna move into our first movement, and it's a forward lunge. So if you would like to warm up with dumbbells and you plan to use dumbbells for the workout, you can go ahead and grab a couple of dumbbells for our little warm-up set. And I recommend that this first set of forward lunges that you do is about maybe 40 to 50% of the amount of resistance that you plan to use for your working set. So it could be pretty light. We're just gonna get our bodies aligned. Think about that stick. Bring the shoulders back and down into their sockets. Brace the core, bring your head and neck up. We have that crown analogy. So as we step forward into our lunge, just think about where the stick was hitting alongside of your back. And imagine if you can continue to keep your body upright as you step into these forward lunges. Great job. This is a warm-up set, so this should feel good. You should have a little bit of a challenge. There should be a little bit of a drag or resistance happening. And you're gonna use this as an opportunity to check in. Are my feet and legs and knees aligned with each other in a nice straight line? Are my core and back straight and engaged? Is my chest up? Let's do one more on this leg, and then we'll switch to the other side. Are my hips squared forward? Go ahead and switch. Are my shoulders remaining back and down, or are they starting to creep forward with the amount of resistance I'm holding in my hands? You could also have that resistance up on your shoulders, and I'm gonna move into the barbell for my next little working set. So just notice how that feels. Last one. Nice work. And you can go ahead and set down your weighted objects. And since we are using this very first movement as an opportunity to warm up the body, I'm going to invite you to do another set of forward lunges now. So I'm going to move right into using my barbell and loading it up. If you are sticking with your dumbbells, just move up to a heavier set of dumbbells. I'd like you to be within that 8 to 12 rep range. So find something that's challenging for you, where you have to stop at 12 at the most, okay? And you can do at least 8. That's how you're gonna calibrate how much weight to use. So if you're using a barbell, like we talked about in Monday's class, or day 1 of this workout series, you wanna have your rack set up so that your bar is about your mid-back region, so that when you come underneath it, you can get it up on your shoulders with just a small lunge into it. If you're in the gym, you can also use a Smith machine for this. Also a great option. And I recommend that you load up your bar with about 70 to 80% of the amount of resistance that you know that you can do for forward lunges. So that should be more than what you did for your warm-up set. So we want to get this body prepared to really work today against resistance. So I've added an amount of weight that isn't quite the max that I know I can do for my rep range, but it's a good challenge for me. So I'm going to load myself up. The bar is going to sit on my traps. My core is braced. I'm going to come up, lifting the bar up onto my shoulders. And if you're using dumbbells, you can still hold them at your sides or put them up on your shoulders, whatever feels the most supportive. And we're going to start with the right leg stepping forward and coming back. Very common in this movement for the body to start leaning forward. And I want you to really work on that. I want you to reset each time you come back. Be secure and stable in your step forward. Great work. There's no need to rush these movements. Be very deliberate with each step. Make sure your knee is tracking in line with your toe. And I would recommend keeping it back. So if your body stays upright, it's easier to keep your knee from going far over your toe, which I'd like you to do today as we are adding a lot of resistance. It's not wrong for your knee to go in front of your toe. That's a functional movement. However, today we're focusing on keeping that weight back and loading it up and really isolating the glute and the quad. Awesome work. I'm at the top of my rep range after this next one, and I invite you to pay attention to where your end feel is. An end feel is when you feel like you could do maybe one, maybe barely two more reps with good form. That's when you stop. You stop before that point. And it takes a little practice to get used to, like anything. When you're ready, switch sides and do the same number of reps on this other side as you did on your right side. Great job. Keep your breath strong, keep your back straight. Think about that upright form. Think about the stick. I love that move. Last two for me on this side. Please feel free to stop before me or go past me. This is each of our own workout. And we need to calibrate for ourselves, not for somebody else. I invite you to record the moves that we do today and write down how much weight you used and how many reps you did, so that when we get to this workout again in another week, you're gonna be able to see where you're at. Watch yourself progress. I gotta do my math. Okay. We're gonna move on to a back strengthening movement next. So as your legs are recovering and you're catching your breath, you don't need to rush into this next move. We do wanna take a little rest and recovery. The heavier you go, the more you challenge yourself, the more essential it is to give the body that mini cool down period in between your hard work. So we're gonna do reverse flies. You're gonna need some dumbbells or weighted objects for this. Once again, we're working in that 8 to 12 rep range. And this rep range is going to change as we go through this workout series. So one of the fun things that you can do, which I'll cue you to do in round 2 of this first circuit, is start to try to get closer to the 8 in your circuit than the 12. So shoulders back and down as if they were up against a wall. Brace your core. Do your stick. Send your hips, hinge your hips back, keeping your head and neck back and core aligned. And from here, fly the arms up. 8 to 12 reps. Straight out to the sides, straight out beside you. You should feel the muscles between your shoulder blades working. Don't lose your form. Don't allow your back to round. Great job. Think about that neutral position for your head and neck. Keep breathing. Count your reps. When you get to the top of your rep range, you can stop. Now this first set of each of these moves, I'm not trying to hit like a low rep. I'm really like allowing the body to get used to the movement, allowing myself to warm up. Go ahead when you're done, record the amount of resistance that you used and the amount of reps that you did. Catch your breath. I find you need a little bit less rest after a move like that than I do with a leg move, and it's just we're recruiting bigger muscle groups when we're doing our leg moves. So let your heart rate come back down. If you're drinking Rock and Restore to replenish those aminos in your muscles, that is great. Have your Rock and Restore. Otherwise, water. Stay hydrated, it's important. And I know that you were fueled coming into this workout, and that you're planning to fuel afterwards for the best results, to see those muscles start to grow, to drop excess body fat. These are the important essential things. We want carbs and protein around our workouts. Pay attention to fueling appropriately and you will reap the rewards. All right, I'm gonna actually come back to my rack because we're gonna move into calf raises. And I find that I have been enjoying the calf raise at about the same amount of weight that I'm using for my forward lunge. So you're welcome to hold dumbbells in your hands and do calf raises, lifting your heels up and down, holding those at your shoulders, or of course at your sides. I'm going to do this with my barbell. So once again, loading the bar up on my shoulders, stepping my feet out to hip distance. And then I'm just going to make sure that my body stays upright, because one of the things that will happen as you start to lift up on your toes, let's go ahead and begin, is that you will have a tendency to lean forward, like we were talking about with that forward lunge. So just check in with your body, maintain that good center of gravity. And for the calf raises, I would love for you to do between 10 and 20 calf raises. This is a muscle group that can really take it. So go ahead and go for it. See how you feel. Of course, if your end feel stops before that, just please stop. You don't have to do the high rep. I find these extremely challenging and I love them. You may feel them like I do all the way up the back of your legs. I feel them all the way up through my hamstrings. This is a great posterior chain activator. And all right, last two for me. Feel free to stop before me. Feel free to go beyond me. I'm gonna go ahead and bend my knees, re-racking my bar and my weight rack. And I'm gonna record my reps and weight. Feel free to do the same. Moving on to our second set, what I mentioned to you previously, which was we're gonna be working towards doing less reps, more weight in this challenge, this entire series. So in this second set for our first circuit, I invite you to check in. If you could only do 8 reps in the last circuit, that's perfect. Stick with that amount. If you felt like you could do more reps than 8, I challenge you to add more resistance to your weights, either your dumbbells or your barbell setup, so that you're getting closer to that 8 range. Next week when we do this workout, we're gonna be working towards 6 reps. But this week I want you to try to get towards that 8 because it'll help you be a little bit more confident. And if you find that, oh, I was able to do 10, do 10. And then in our next round, you can do 8, okay? We're just gonna continue to test out what is the appropriate amount of weight that challenges us to be able to do only 8 reps. So once you get yourself set up, and this isn't something you're supposed to know, by the way, this is something that you have to do in order to feel and learn. So it's all about testing it out. It's not about getting it perfect. So don't take any pressure off yourself. I'm just inviting you to try something new. Let's begin our forward lunge set. Whichever leg you started on, that is great. You don't have to start with a specific leg. Count your reps. Breathe in as you step out. Breathe out as you come back up. Stay focused. Keep your back and chest up. Now I'm noticing that I'm going to be able to get 10 reps on both legs. That means in the next set, I'm just going to go up and weight a little bit further. Stepping it out. I'm switching to the other side. Great work. Count your reps. I want the same number of reps on both legs. If I stop talking, it's because I have to focus. I'm also watching myself in my mirror in front of me to check my own form. I highly recommend you do the same, that you have a mirror set up in your space so that you can check in on your own form. When you're done with that set, go ahead and write down how many reps you did. So I'll share that in my last set, my first set for the workout, I used less weight than this, but I did 10 reps. Then in this set, I added another 10 pounds and I still did 10 reps. Well, part of why that's happening is because my body's warming up. I'm feeling stronger. There are lots of different ways to train. This is just one of them that I happen to like. So I may find in my next set, now that I'm fully warmed up, that I'm able to add another 5 to 10 pounds to the bar and I'm only able to do 8. But we'll see, right? I need to continue to test myself. We're gonna move on to our reverse flies. Whenever you're ready, was the amount of resistance you used in the last set perfect for you? Was it a little too light? I'd like you to try in this set to get down closer to those 8 reps. My last set, I was able to do 9 reps, so I'm gonna stick with the resistance that I have and see if I can get up to 10 or see if I'm fatiguing. Just let your body be your guide here and have fun with it. Our goal in this second and third round is just to get closer to the 8 reps. That's all. We're just trying to get closer to that. We don't have to have it be perfect. We just want to get closer. Shoulders back and down. Step your feet about hip distance apart. Remember the stick. And then hinge back to 45 degrees. And we're going to come up and out. Count your reps. Keep your nice strong form. Keep that core braced. Great work. And when you're done, you can set your weighted objects aside. What's interesting to me, I was able to do 10 reps that time, so 1 more than my last set. That means I'm gonna challenge myself with a slightly heavier weight on the next round. So just sharing with you what's happening for me. This might not be the case for you. I just wanna give you as many insights about this type of training as I can. We're gonna move back into our calf raises. And I did increase the amount of resistance on my bar. Maybe you used more resistance in your dumbbells if that's what you're using. Whatever feels the best for you for those calf raises. Once again, I'd love for you to try for 10 to 20 of the calf raises, being within that like higher rep range. So when you're ready, you can hold your dumbbells at your sides or on your shoulders, or come underneath your bar on your rack and step forward, bringing your feet hip distance apart. Not allowing your body to pitch forward, standing tall, squeezing your core, and lifting up on your heels. Maintaining that nice upright position. Beautiful work. There's no rushing with this move. You've got some nice explosive cardio coming up in our second superset. Don't worry, we're gonna do it. Keep breathing, count your reps. Great job. Now for these, I'm definitely slowing down. I'm gonna end up doing a couple less reps this set with the heavier weight. So each of your moves might be a little different. That's why you have to feel it out for yourself. Oh, be sure to record what you did once you get to that point where you can write it down. And we'll get ready to move on to our third circuit. Now in this third circuit, once again, I invite you, just like the second circuit, this is another opportunity to get closer to those 8 reps. So if you're still up at 12 reps, see if you can go a little heavier. If you are around 8, 9 reps, even between 7 and 9 reps, stick with what you're using for today. I think that's perfect. It's a great place to begin. Okay, I'm gonna load up my bar just a little more. Reoxygenating those cells, not rushing this. This is the last set of the forward lunges for today. Coming up in upcoming weeks, we'll be doing 4 sets, which will be fun. We'll go a little faster, but today we're doing 3, and technically 4, because you did your warm-up set too. Coming under your bar or bringing your barbells or your dumbbells to your sides or up on your shoulders, stepping out, remembering that Stick test we did, bracing the core, keeping your body upright. Let's go ahead and begin stepping out, coming into that nice lunge, and making sure that we're mindful of all of that form. We're not banging our knee down to the floor, it's hovering just above. Nice and smooth and controlled. If it helps to have the visual of the crown on your head that we're not allowing to tip forward, that's also really helpful. Keep that chest up. Count your reps. Check your form. Last one for me on this side, and 8 was plenty. Gonna switch to the other side, taking a quick breather, and moving on. Please feel free to do more reps. Go at a different pace than me. This is your workout. Oh my goodness. Count your reps. When you get to the top of your rep range, set your equipment aside, take a breather, record your effort, what you did. Feel free to walk around for a moment, catch your breath. Want to thank you for taking the time to train with me today. It means the world. I absolutely love getting the opportunity to be part of your life and your fitness journey, just like you're part of mine. It's the best. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to those reverse flies, and as promised, I'm going to actually test myself and go up a little bit in my amount of resistance to see if I can get even closer to that 8 rep range. You may already be there. So do what you can. Now I've got one of the things that you can do once you start to, go up in weight. Say you're using 10-pound dumbbells to do your reverse flies. I would recommend going up to 12-pound dumbbells rather than 15s as your next step. For instance, I was using 15s just now. I just stepped up to 17.5 dumbbells. I did not get all this equipment fast. It took time to build up everything that I have. And this progressive overload type of training, it is really nice once you start doing it, as you start to get stronger, to notice what would be useful for you to have as equipment. So I'm sharing a lot of this stuff with you just to support you in your endeavors of building on what you have. Use what you have for now, for sure. Because the only workout that's not effective is the one that we don't do, okay? You're doing great, all or something. Once more, we're gonna find that nice stick test spine, sending the hips back to 45 degrees, and we're gonna fly the arms out to the side. Oh my gosh, I feel this. Keep your core braced. Hit my 8 and that was enough for me. Feel free to do what works for you. Be sure to record the reps that you did. You'll want to reference back to this when we come back to this workout next week. Catch your breath, take a breather, maybe you're having a little rock and restore. Now in my essential amino acid formula, unlike a lot of the other ones you'll find out there on the market, of course, the branched chain aminos are within the essential amino acids, but what's very important to know and why a lot of people use a BCAA is because of leucine. Leucine is the most anabolic or muscle building of the branched chain aminos. So when I formulated this Rock and Restore, I put the optimal dose of leucine into this formula. So it's like 2.5 grams. Very, very helpful for you as a bonus boost during your workout to help with muscle protein synthesis, to prevent soreness afterwards to a certain extent, And it's just a great thing to have as a bonus to the fuel, to the dietary protein. And dietary protein includes all of the foods that we eat, the protein powder supplements, which are treated just like a food in your body, that break down into the amino acids that your body needs for everything from cognitive function, immune health, hormone and enzyme function, to muscle protein synthesis. Your body is consistently going through muscle protein breakdown and muscle protein synthesis. It's just part of what your body does. However, if you're in a deficit of muscle protein breakdown for too long and you don't replenish, you will not build muscle, period. So to build muscle, we need a combination of carbohydrates and protein. So those amino acids get stored in your muscle tissue, and if you are going too long without eating and then you work out afterwards, your body is in a catabolic state, and it's breaking down and stealing the amino acids from your muscle tissue. It's literally breaking down your muscle tissue in order to fuel all of those other functions I just talked about. So be mindful of your fuel around your workouts. If you're gonna limit carbohydrate consumption at any point in the day, don't do it around your workouts. Make sure you're eating protein with each main meal. Feel free to supplement with my wholesome, whole Betty organic protein powders and Rock and Restore you can do during your workout. I'm gonna move on to the calf raises. I wanted that little break because I wanna attack this last set, get underneath it, or have your weights hanging by your sides. Reset, test your body, make sure everything is aligned, nice, straight, and strong, straight as an arrow, and then begin lifting up. Count your reps. You got this. We get to do this. We get to do this together. It's the best. Come on. Thank your body for being here. Thank all of those incredible functions that we don't see from day to day that happen like under our skin. It's amazing. Our body is just like this supercomputer that's processing all this data that we give it, from our workouts to our sleep to our nutrition to the way we handle our stress. All of that is processed by your body, and we want to create an optimal state within the body if we have a specific goal. For instance, body composition shifts, for instance, building muscle or losing body fat or having more energy. We have to create that state in our body through the actions we take. One of the actions is exercise. It's not all of the actions that create that. All of the actions work together to create that state. All right, last one for me. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna set down that weight, and I'm gonna clean up my space while I'm catching my breath from the calf raises. Go ahead and write down how many reps you did and how much weight you were using, and then put away the equipment that you used for that last circuit. As we are moving on, we're going to be using totally different equipment for this next circuit. Now, if you are not in a setup like me and you get impatient when I put away my equipment or I talk, I understand. And I encourage you to do some jump ropes in place, or to move around your space, or to use it as an opportunity to do a little extra mobility. Stretch, move. Also remember that it's the space in between our workout moves where we're actually recovering for the powerful output of our next circuit or our next move. There's always a point to why we recover. Now I'm going to take a moment to go over the options you have for the first move of your second circuit. Now, can you all see that I have a weight bench here? I've got a weight bench with those little doodads at the end. So I can use this handle, and it's got these little bumper plates at the end. And I'm going to hook my heels underneath this and lower my body down for hamstring drops. If you don't have this bench type situation and you have a couch that you can hook your heels underneath, or something else that allows you to hook your heels under it, that's going to be what you're going to use. Other options for the hamstring strengthener, if you have a hamstring curl machine at the gym, that's going to work great. You can also hook your feet into TRX straps, and you can curl up like this, driving your heels forward. Another fantastic option to work those hamstrings is to take an exercise ball, go ahead and put your feet up on it, and then roll it in towards your butt. This is another fantastic way to work those hamstrings. I'm going to give you another option. Just want you guys to have lots of options because this is totally doable in so many different ways. Another thing you can do is either hook or tie a stretchy band around your gym equipment, and you can turn this into a makeshift hamstring curl. Now, if you have different levels of the amount of resistance that you could hook under your ankles, you'll bring your head down and you'll curl your legs up and down, and you'll play around with how far away your feet are from the band to apply different amounts of tension. So hopefully that has given you a great option for yourself to use today. Now, for those of you who want to try the bench, I have to actually put some weight plates on my bench because all of my body weight is going to be up against this as I lower myself down. This is going to be an essential opportunity to pay attention to what we did with the stick test, because I want to keep my body in as straight of a line as possible, and then I'm going to lower myself down towards the mat with my hands in front of me to catch me just before I completely fall. There's a little bit of trust involved in this one. So whatever your choice of movement pattern is for your hamstrings, I like 8 to 12 reps. If you're doing the hamstring drops, you can definitely do less. You can do 6 to 10. Build up for this. And I'm going to talk to you about how I'm using the hamstring drop in case you want to test this out. One thing that is going to happen if your core strength is still building up is that you'll start to bend forward as you come towards the mat. This is why I said think about the stick test. You must keep your body in a straight line throughout the entire drop. Have your hands out in front of you. Feel the strength of your hamstrings working as you lower down towards the mat for as long as possible before releasing. And then as you come up, keep your body straight and try to use the strength of your hamstrings to pull yourself back up. Just guide yourself up with your hands. I know this one's really challenging. You could also, if you had a buddy, someone can hold your legs down, but I find hooking your feet under the couch works well. Or you have all of these other options. There's lots of great ways to work your hamstrings. Last one for me. When you're done, you can go ahead and write down how many reps you did and what style of hamstring strengthening movement you did today. Moving on, another movement where I'm going to give you some options. This is the pull-up. So if you've done any of the other Rockstar Weight Training Challenge series, we talked about a lot of different ways to build strength to do the pull-up. And we're going to go over those today. If you don't have a pull-up bar or an option for pull-ups, I invite you to attach a stretchy band up high above your space. And you can use this band, you can kneel down, and you can pull down and out towards your rib cage. Pull down and out. Now, of course, that's not going to be exactly the same as a pull-up, but it's going to be a great way to build your strength in your upper body. Another way to do the pull-up is, let me actually show you this. This is our first week, so I am going to take the time to show you as many options as possible. Now I'm going to put this bar across the rack, and if you had your broom out and you don't have a pull-up bar, you could set your broom up across 2 high chairs or even across 2 low chairs. And you could use that to pull yourself up to in your house. You could find a way to pull yourself up to something in your house. I actually had a chair, I had a high table in my old house that I would pull myself up to. In one house I would hang and pull myself up from the stairs. So that's another alternative that you are welcome to do if you have the opportunity to set a bar across something. Now, if you have something you can pull up to, but you're working on building the strength to be able to do an unassisted pull-up, I recommend getting some stretchy bands like these that I have hanging. I have 3 different weights. This is the one that gives me the most support, this green one. This purple one gives me less support, and this black one gives me very little support. So I recommend that you practice the pull-up with some assistance underneath you to help you pull up if you do have that option. Another great way to work on your pull-ups is to actually just hang in a halfway down position, just like this, without any assistance at all. The absolute best way to get stronger at pull-ups is to practice them. So I'll share where I'm at with my pull-ups is I like to attempt a couple of body weight pull-ups, 1 to 2, and then I switch to my stretchy band, and I'm so fatigued by then I'm able to do maybe 1 or 2 more. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Maybe you've already done your pull-ups. If not, go ahead and practice pull-ups with me in the way that works best for you. We're gonna do our pull-ups with our palms facing our face and at a shoulder width grip. Get my hands, I got all these bands on this bar. And get yourself in position and then work on it in the way that's best for you. For me, I can do 2 unassisted right now. I've been building my strength and working on this. And now I'm gonna go to my hardest band that gives me the least amount of support. Then I'm gonna do a couple more. And then I'm gonna stop. Do what you can do. Pull-ups are a fantastic strength move. They are something that it's just great to practice. Just like I told you in the beginning, all or something, right? It doesn't have to be perfect to be a great practice. Catch your breath, have a little hydration. We're gonna move on to our last move of our second circuit, which is gonna be a kettlebell swing. Don't have a kettlebell? No problem. You can do this with a dumbbell quite easily. You'll hook your hands underneath your dumbbell in this position so that you have a good grip on the object. Think about the position that we had our back in for that stick test. Bring your shoulders back, brace your core, and then bend your knees, hinging, and allow the strength of your butt to lift your weighted object up into the air. You're not lifting it up with your hands. You're using the strength of your glutes to lift it up. Your feet will be out wider than hip distance. And I'm gonna use my kettlebell, because I have one. And I want you to watch as my body maintains that straight line. Good. Squeeze your butt as you come to the top, and I want 10 to 15 of these. You got this, come on. Low impact cardio. When you're done, reset your body, set your weighted object down, catch your breath, write down your reps, as well as how much resistance you had to hold on to, and we will move on back to our hamstring movement. Remember all the options you had. Hopefully you have a good setup for this now. If you're in the gym using a hamstring curl machine, you could be using the upright curl, pulling your legs back, or you could be laying down doing the curl back to your butt. In either case, those machines were set up for the average height person, which many of you will have no problem with. I'm not the average height. I'm a little shorter than that. My personality, of course, is much larger than the average person. But my height is smaller. So if that's you, be sure, there's a couple things you can do to make sure that it's safe for you. Just be sure that you engage your core and that you set up the machine so that it's in an optimal position on your mid-calf. If you're sitting down on something and you're shorter, you can actually put a rolled up towel below your butt if that helps lift you up a little bit higher to make the machine more accessible. Those are just some tips if you're in the gym. All right, I feel sufficiently prepared to do this second set. How are you feeling? Go ahead and set yourself up. I will once again talk about how I'm doing the drop for those of you who want to test this out. Bring your body upright. Think about the stick test. This is why I showed it to you. It's so important. You cannot bend forward with this. You can simply drop straight forward. And then use the strength of your hamstrings both on the way down to put the brakes on, to slow you down. So I have hamstring engagement here as I come up, and then I'm going to have hamstring engagement all the way until I lose my form and have to put my hands down in front of me. Don't let your back bend, and feel free to use any of those other variations I showed you. They're all fantastic. I like the ball roll-in is one of my personal favorites. You'll see that as a hamstring move inside of home workout domination. It's one I've used for years to help really engage the hamstrings, as I really enjoy how it also engages the core. I also adore the TRX hamstring movement. It's super, super tough. I also love the band. I use that when I'm training at my brother's house a lot. There's just a lot of great options to work the hamstrings. So one isn't better than the other. They're all gonna challenge your body in different ways. I feel like I'm gonna lose my form here, so I'm gonna stop. Please feel free to do an amount that works best for you. When you're done, you can write down your reps and what equipment you used. And we're gonna get ready to move on to our second set of pull-ups. Now, I may have failed to mention this in our first round because I was focused on teaching you all these other things. But with your pull-ups, we're doing a set called an AMRAP, which stands for as many reps as possible. So there's no like, you're supposed to do 10 or 8 or whatever of the pull-ups. I did 4 in my last set. And I'm gonna be super pumped if I can do another 2 full body weight pull-ups. About 2 months ago, I could only do 1 full pull-up without the assistance. And I've been working on it, so I'm really excited to be able to do 2. I know that one of our members, Zelda, has been working on her pull-ups, so I'm excited to hear how she's progressing. And others of you just know it's possible to progress. I started with the Stretchy Bands. If you happen to do Rockstar Weight Training 1 and then Rockstar Weight Training 2, you'll watch me get stronger and progress up the bands. It's really, really cool. We get stronger in the things we practice, right? Okay. Psyching myself up. These are really tough. They're really tough, but like it's so fun. We get to do this together. We get to challenge our bodies, get stronger, practice. I want your grip to face your hands, to face your face, and hands should be about shoulder width apart. Your body should not sway or rock. Should be a nice straight line as you come up and down. Chest should try to come to the bar. Do your best. I barely made it that last one, so I'm switching to my little assister here, my little assistant. There's a ton of core activation that happens in a pull-up. It's a really great move. I mean, it strengthens your back, your biceps, your core. I suppose technically I should call this move a chin-up since we have our palms facing in. When your hands are out and your hands are wider, I might call that more of a pull-up. It's totally cool if you're practicing it one way. Today, I would like you to try the chin-up version with the palms facing, just because I want to give some bicep activation involved in today's workout. So if you were doing it the other way, feel free to switch for the last round. No worries. Let me go ahead and record my reps and weight. And gonna move on to those super fun swings. How you feeling? You are just crushing this workout today. Bravo. All right, go ahead and pick up your swinging object of choice. With the kettlebell, I'll just mention this for those of you who may want to use a kettlebell. Your grip is going to be side to side on the kettlebell, facing in, but that will turn your shoulders in. So you have to really deliberately pull them back and down and not allow that to arch your back. We want to have that braced core. Once again, let's all think about the stick along our back. Step our feet out nice and wide. Send our butt down slightly. Let that kettlebell or weight dangle between the knees. And then powerfully bring it up. It's not about how high your weighted object goes. It's about the squeeze in your glutes. It's about the straightness of your back. Come on. It's about putting it all together. Your core is working together with your hips and glutes. Knees track in line with toes. Keep breathing. 10 to 15. Woo! Did your heart rate go up? Set your weighted object down by bending the knees. Record your reps. Whew. Oh my goodness. That was super fun. Have some more Aminos if you're having them. Catch your breath. We're gonna do our final superset. I need a breather after those kettlebell swings. How about you? Something cool that I learned recently. I was doing a podcast with my friend Erin Alexander, who is a movement therapist and structural alignment practitioner like I used to be. Although I would say Erin really took it to another level with the work he does. It was so fun to interview him. Anyway, he was talking about the archetypal postures of repose, which are the way that indigenous people sit in resting poses. And in fact, they don't sit in a chair like so many of us do, which tends to put us in these chronic positions that aren't really great for our bodies. There's 3 archetypal resting poses. One is a squat, one is the kneeling pose, either this way or this way, and the other is cross-legged. So if you have the opportunity to work any of these poses into your work day, if you do happen to sit quite a bit and focus, one thing I'll do is I will actually sit, I'll get a bigger chair and sit cross-legged in it. I'll also transition into a kneeling pose frequently, or I'll transition into sitting like this with my back up against the couch and put my workspace up on a pillow. These are just some ideas. I'll also sit like in a chair or with my legs out or bent in front of me throughout the day, and I'll try to stand as well. But I just thought it was really cool how those 3 postures are used so frequently in indigenous populations, and that's really the difference in why they have so many less of the chronic kind of pain and issues that we do, just because of how they're taking their body into those positions throughout the day. Just wanted to share. You can listen to that podcast we did too on season 2 of the Betty Rocker Show. I think it's episode 13. It's a really good one. Erin talks about all kinds of cool stuff. Let's go ahead and do our last set of hamstrings. Hamstring. I'm gonna come into the drop, keeping that straight back, straight neck and spine. Really feeling that. If you are doing the hamstring curl with the ball, TRX, or band, or even a machine, all of these are challenging the fibers of your hamstrings. If you are using a machine at the gym, you will be varying the amount of resistance that you have on that machine, just like we are with the amount of resistance in our band. If you're using a ball or the TRX, you can do more reps. You can go higher in the rep range. Similar to the calf movement, you can go up to that 10 to 15 reps with your ball pull-ins or your TRX pull-ins. As you're building strength, you may find it best to be in that 8 to 12 rep range. Do what you can. Allow your body to get stronger. You got this. Oh my goodness. Whew. These are super tough. Oh. Last one for me. Finish your set strong. Record your reps. Get ready for our last set of pull-ups. And as you're preparing for that last set of pull-ups, maybe you want to take a quick breather, clean up your space from your hamstring move. That would be fine. And of course, I've given you options of what to do if you're impatient with me cleaning up my space or resting. It's your day, I get it. I do want to be as rested as possible coming into my last set of pull-ups because I have yet to be able to do 2 unassisted pull-ups in each of my 3 rounds. So I'm hoping I can do it today, but I may just have hit my limit and be able to do 1. I'm just going to be proud of myself for whatever I do, and you should be too. Like I mentioned, it was progressive building up to this. So let yourself have permission also to progress. Remember, you can also work on a hang without even pulling up at all. That will also help strengthen the muscles that you need for the pull-up. Get yourself in position, reset. Oh, I did it. Yes, I did it. Oh, part of why I did it, I think, is because I did give myself adequate rest. But also I think I might be getting a little stronger. Kind of exciting. I'm going to transition to my assistants. Yeah, that was it. Thank you for being here with me. How are you doing? I look forward to hearing from you, hearing your check-ins, to see how this was for you today, what questions you have, how I can support you. We're gonna move on, finish this workout strong with our last set of swings, 10 to 15. Feel free to do more if you can, of course. And then we will end with a cool down stretch, which I really recommend you don't skip. You need to nourish and support those muscles after they've done all this work for you. I won't keep you long, I promise. Thank you for committing to this today. Feet out nice and wide, shoulders back, core braced. Send your hips back. Remember the stick and swing. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Keep your core braced, keep that back flat. Visualize what it felt like to have the stick touching your head, back, and sacrum. Check your form in a mirror beside you. You got this, keep breathing. Yes, finish it strong, bring it home. When you're done, bend your knees, return your weighted objects to their home in your space. Always clean up your space after any workout. It's just a sign of respect for yourself. And join me on the mat. Let's grab our stick one final time and set that in place. Go ahead and hold it at the base of your spine, at your sacrum, and up it through your crown. From here, step your feet out like you were in the kettlebell swing, and try doing the kettlebell swing movement with holding the stick. Think about if this feels like what you were doing. Go ahead now and stand tall and come into a squat, and then come back up. Just a regular squat. How far down can you go? Keeping the stick touching your back. Yes, your body naturally will lean forward slightly, but we're not bending forward, right? We're keeping the body upright. Last but not least, let's practice a hip hinge once more, as if we were going to do a stiff-legged deadlift. So, keep your back flat, keep your head and neck up, keep your core braced, and then hinge. I'm going to look in my mirror to check my own form. Keeping the back and head up, keeping the core braced. It's just a practice. It's just an opportunity to learn where you're doing stuff. If you're rounding your back, just wanted you to get a chance to practice it again after you had been warm and using that motion. Go ahead and stand with your hand up against a wall. We're going to stretch the chest out a little bit. Go ahead and step it forward, same side leg as the arm we're stretching. Nice little static hold chest stretch. Not for long, just a really simple opening up of the chest. Nicely done. And then go ahead and step out of that. Circle the arm up and then across your body, drawing it over in front of you. Nice work. Release it down, swing it around, and other arm up at your side, stepping out with the same side leg as the arm we're stretching, feeling a nice chest opening stretch here. Breathe into that space, supporting the rotator cuff by opening the chest up. Nice job. As you come out of it, do a couple of arm circles, and then bring your arm in front of you, giving the arm a gentle hug over across your body. Find an elevated surface in your space. I'll use my bench. We're gonna do some hamstring stretches together. So go ahead and set your hamstring, your leg up on your elevated surface, and then lean forward, keeping your back straight as we start out. A couple breaths into that. And then round your back, bringing your nose down towards your knee, feeling a nice stretch up through the back of your hamstring. If you have a different way that you prefer to stretch your hamstring, be my guest. I just want you to get this opportunity to stretch it out while everything is nice and warm. Let's go ahead and switch and do that on the other side. So lift your left heel up onto a bench, or if you started with your left, lift your right. Go ahead and straighten your back. Lean down, keeping your back straight as we start, just giving an invitation for the hamstring to start to stretch. And then round your back, bringing your nose down towards your knee, getting a deeper stretch along that hamstring. Well done. From here, we'll stretch the quads, real simple. Hold on to the side of a wall, reach back, grab your foot, pulling it up towards your butt. Don't allow your back to arch. If you have any trouble at all with this, you can use a towel or a strap and just wrap it around the back of your foot, using that for extra leverage to pull your foot up towards your butt, getting a nice deep quad stretch. When you're done, you can go ahead and switch to the other side, pulling your foot up towards your butt, feeling a nice stretch in that quad. And you can play around with how far away your leg is from the knee. You can, as you draw the knee in closer, you'll feel different aspects of your quadriceps muscles stretching. Don't do it so that it hurts at all, just play around with it. And last but not least, let's stretch out our calves. So find a stationary object at about chest height, lean into a lunge, allowing the back leg to straighten out, allowing that back calf to stretch. Oh, I'm feeling that today. How about you? Nice and deep. Let's go ahead and switch, stepping the other foot back, stepping the foot we stretched forward into that lunge. And we're going to do this again. Hold the static stretch, then step the original foot back. Once again, stretching into that calf deeply. And if you like, you can keep that foot back, bend the knee slightly, and then straighten the leg, coming into the deeper lunge, releasing the lunge, bending the back knee, keeping the heel down. This is just an opportunity to stretch the deeper calf muscle. You may not feel it much. It's okay if you don't, just an opportunity to test it out. Then go ahead and step the other foot back, coming into the lunge forward with the leg you just stretched, enjoying that deep lunge. Release the lunge slightly, bend the back knee, keeping the heel down, and then straighten the back leg. Come more deeply into the lunge. We'll do that one more time. Bend the back knee, straighten the front leg, and then straighten the back leg, come into the lunge. And thank you so much for joining me today, Rockstar. I really appreciated having you here to train with me. It was so much more fun with you. And workouts like this on my blog or on my YouTube channel, they're just a drop in the bucket compared to what we have available for you inside of Rock Your Life, my online home workout studio and women's fitness community. Inside of Rock Your Life, like I mentioned at the beginning of this class, we've got all kinds of challenge programs to really help you sequence your workouts in the right way so that you get the best results. Plus, we'll surround you with support in our private women's fitness community where myself and the Team Betty Rocker coaches can answer your questions, hear your check-ins, see what you're up to, help guide you, and we really talk about health holistically. We're looking at the 4 pillars of health: sleep, nutrition, stress management, and exercise, because your results are really gonna be driven by creating that optimal state within your body. It's not just the workouts. The workouts are fun, the workouts are great, but it's when we really focus on the big picture that we start to see the best results. And that's what we're there for. We wanna watch you progress over time, get stronger, meet all of your goals, be healthy, happy, and live an awesome lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. So grab a 30-day trial to Rock Your Life. Check out all the amazing variety of challenges, everything from bodyweight workouts, functional movement, to workouts with home gym equipment like dumbbells and stretchy bands, all the way up to like things that we were doing today with more of a gym aspect. It's all waiting for you inside of Rock Your Life, and so much more. As always, I'm Betty Rocker. You are so awesome and amazing. Don't you forget it. I'll see you again real soon.